All right. Happy New Year, everybody. We are live January 1st, 2023, as we have made it through yet another season and another year. I'm joined tonight by my buddy Sean, and I'm joined by Swiggy tonight. Swiggy, are you still in mourning?
Will this horrible year never end?
It did. It did actually.
It did. Well, for
Unless you're having a shitty 2023, because man, you're off to a head start for everyone else. Apparently.
I'm off to a head start.
So you want the year to end already? We're only in day one still.
I definitely think Ryan Day should be fired for that game last night, but whatever.
Are you kidding? He did a lot better than everyone thought he would. I mean,
but results based business.
that's fair.
Okay, I guess, but I think a lot of people thought Ohio State would get rolled. But the Devils, the Devils number popped up. The new spread was 5.5. Something's up. That is the ultimate like deadly spread. If the spread's 5.5, it's like I'm gonna stay away from that.
Why is that?
It's just if you ever bet football games on the reg, 5.5 is like no. It's like, oh, that's an easy cover, or or take the points. Like, nope. It's like it's this weird danger zone where it's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. It's you have to bet football a little bit to understand it.
Right. I don't bet football, but I mean, I guess it's that they know information or it could go one way or the other for it. So, anyway. I mean, it was a great game yesterday. I'll say that. That and
both of them
Michigan TCU.
We had two great semifinals, and I spent. I just want to jam an ice pick into my retinas, and because
for which part?
Both retinas, so I don't have to read comments anymore on my live stream. I'm glad the season's over. I don't have to do that shit anymore because so many fucking whiny little beta cuck bitches. I can't believe TCU's won a playoff game before. Oh my god, you all are whiny cunts. I hate you all.
Who cares?
It's football. It's the nature of sports. It's not.
We should have hired Sonny Dykes. Fuck me.
That's Texas. Texas is the ones that are saying that.
They probably should have, but it's like, fuck me, dude.
It's all about timing and sometimes matchups.
We should have hired Sonny. How? A dude said it like 12 times, and I finally just blocked him. I said, dude, you keep fucking saying it.
TC got a good matchup and a good year. It happens.
I would have loved to have played an overrated Jim Harbaugh Michigan team.
Yeah.
Please. Can I Here's who we played. DeShawn Watson leading Clemson. With no defense. Our defense sucked in 2015. What a shock. 17. Should have won that game in 17. We've all been through that before.
Can we throw Lincoln Riley in jail yet, please?
2018, no defense. Kyler Murray carried that team. Great offensive line, no defense. Look what happened. 2019, one of the greatest teams of all time. We didn't get Bama in some years got an overrated, lucky to be their Michigan State team. Or Clemson played some lucky to be their Notre. We didn't get any of those fucking teams.
We never won that lottery. That's what people don't understand. We always got the hardest matchup, and
But Michigan's really good this year. You know what happened yesterday? The Big Ten got fucking exposed.
Yep.
Because here's the thing about the Big Ten. I pay attention to regional places, whether it's like Midwest, South, whatever. Like Mike Valenti's radio show, he would do a thing every week. Or they would do Big Ten power rankings. About 4 weeks into the season, they dropped it because it was so pathetic. The Big Ten was so pathetic that they just moved to a national ranking, top 10. They would do this every year. They said, let's power rank all teams in the Big Ten. And they dropped it because the Big Ten was so pathetic to watch. They just said, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're not going to continuously talk about Nebraska and how bad Iowa's offense is or how dilapidated Michigan State is overall. No, they're not going to do it. because it wasn't going to change every week at this point. There wasn't any
No.
interesting races. It was a 2-team race. It was like the old days of the 60s and 70s. And
Right.
I predicted, ironically, an Ohio State-Michigan rematch, and I predicted specifically Michigan will win barely, and Ohio State will make plays in the fourth quarter and catch Georgia off guard. If you flip those two things, I got it right. But guess what? I didn't. So I jinxed you, Ohio State and Michigan. You're welcome.
I mean, you're not wrong on it. I mean, I thought Michigan was going to roll TCU with it because I thought
I
TCU,
didn't think they were going to roll them. No, I did not, because I said, no, they're not going to roll them. I wasn't shocked TCU won. What I was shocked by was how dominant they were at times of the game.
Correct. Then that's where I was shocked too.
Like the TCU defense was able to contain the Michigan running game, which all I heard for 2 weeks was their 3-3-5 defense is not going to be able to stop the Michigan running game. And to be fair, the first play from
the game,
yeah.
I mean, it seemed, it's gonna be a long. It's gonna be a long day for the Horned Frogs. But
Jim Harbaugh's brain failed him. What was that fourth down call? Like,
I know what that fourth down call was, Wiggy. It was Jim Harbaugh's signature. I'm going to make up something that does not work. Play, and you got what you got from it.
What are you talking about? They tried to run the Philly special, which was something Riley did like a month before the Super Bowl. But regardless,
it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked since the Super Bowl.
Riley does not get credit for that play at all. Isn't that amazing? Because if OU had won the Rose Bowl, they would give him all credit for it. But since Nick Foles did it in the Super Bowl, it gets more notoriety and people remember it because it worked and they won the game. So I always find that hilarious. But regardless, I love the Zapruder film conspiracy theory about how the referee didn't spot the ball at a certain point, and then Michigan gets what appeared to be a big touchdown pass that was reviewed and put down at the 1 yard line, and they fumbled the ball 1 yard out. And
funniest stuff ever.
You fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line, and somehow the refs screwed you. I'm sorry. 1st and goal. What, you fumbled the ball?
You're Michigan. You're a Big Ten team. If you have 4 chances to get 1 yard, if you can't get 1 yard out of that, you're
this wasn't the last play of the game.
Exactly.
If this was the last play of the game and you want to do Zapruder film and everything, I probably still would have gone back and pointed to other shit while you lost. However, these are college football fan bases. OU fans would do this too. Let's be honest. But it's like
targeting.
The targeting that they were going to call, but then took off.
Oh, they didn't. You knew they were. I was messaging Andrew at the time I said they ain't gonna call it, and Andrew's like, "Yep, they're not gonna do it. Not with national championship on the line. They are going to wimp out."
I'm just like,
we don't know.
There's no way they're gonna give Michigan another shot, and
If the snap hadn't been fumbled, if he was close to the first down, if a million other things had happened, it probably would have called it. But they really didn't want to keep him out of the national championship game.
Right. What I learned yesterday is that you can hit someone you can lower your helmet and hit someone in the back, and that's okay because it's not the head or neck area. So if you want to be a battering ram and hit them in the back or whatever, you good. Apparently, you good.
Well, that happened to Ohio State too. Georgia knocked Marvin Harrison Jr. out of the game,
which changed the game.
Yeah,
the best player on the field for both teams. Let's just call it let's just call it like I see it, or call it like we see it.
Yeah,
Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best player on the field that last night, and him getting knocked out, and I don't know what they did. Took away his helmet. I don't know if he had a concussion or he was just standing on the sideline like.
I think he had a concussion.
Man, he was like, dude, for a guy who
was out of it, man. He was like,
but for a guy who has a concussion, you just standing there being all happy-go-lucky. That's usually not what you do under concussion protocol. Maybe call me crazy. Usually, you're not.
I understand that, but maybe it hit him that hard. That
I don't know.
I'm not a brain person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he had a concussion or like a shoulder spread or something, but he could. I'm fine. But they took away his helmet, and it's like, and Emeka Boga makes some plays, but man, like, CJ, man.
Stroud should have got the Heisman. I'm just saying.
No, I don't believe that either. Like, sorry, like, no, he didn't deserve. He didn't deserve the Heisman. He had a great performance. Let's not take that away from him. He didn't deserve the Heisman. I'm not going to have this reactionary. Oh, great pull performance. He should. That's not what the Heisman is. You get the Heisman for the regular season.
I get it. But
I mean, hey, the real winners last night, Houston Texans. No, Houston Texans, take Young or Stroud. I think both are going to succeed in the NFL.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, but watching that game and Georgia gets away with it and played like crap. Now, once again, TCU is playing in this game. It's amazing. TCU's playing Georgia for a national title, which is, hey, we all wanted different teams in a sense. We got something different, like
stupid monkey's paw.
I guess. Yeah. So
Swiggy, you had the monkey paw. Like, we want Ohio State to be good in 2022. The monkey paw curled right at midnight.
I don't know if Keandre Miller, what his status is. That's gonna be a huge loss for TCU if he can't go.
Yeah.
Because he's a big part of the running game. Quentin Johnson had an amazing day, of course. When he didn't make a lot of catches, but he made big ones when they counted against Michigan. So again, this goes towards, we have to talk. So everyone thought about line of scrimmage. Michigan was going to own it. And
no, they didn't.
Georgia is a different beast, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's that I was talking with Swiggy. You may know Brian from our Among Us nights.
Yeah.
Brian's a huge Michigan fan. He's like, I just wish to see them succeed, mostly for my dad, because he hasn't seen them succeed in well over 30 years. I went, your biggest issue, dude, is A, we've talked about Michigan man stuff before, but B, y'all need better recruiting. Number 17 is not going to hack it.
Yeah, because
I'm like, here's Big 12. Yeah, Big 10. You could go by that.
Broncos.
This is SEC.
Michigan gets a handful of big, like JJ McCarthy was a 5-star. They've got
Broncos are gonna fix that problem probably.
Well, the point is Michigan's had a handful of blue chippers here and there, but they're not recruiting like Ohio State, Georgia, and Bama. They're just not. So
no, they're not. And the flip side of that too is whether people like to hear this or not, and I'm gonna get probably pitchforked at this point for it. Ohio State's the better program than Michigan is overall.
It's been that way for.
It's going to be Ohio State.
It's been that way for a long time. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Urban Meyer is a horrible person, but if nothing else, from everything I've heard about, and this was a few years ago, so maybe Michigan's caught up a little bit, but at least in like 2019, Ohio State facilities versus Michigan facilities were like night and day, with Ohio State just having much better facilities.
Well, I mean, Ryan Day, like Ohio State, I don't know. I'm sure Ohio State fans aren't happy, but
I'll fire him into the sun. His second biggest win is Wisconsin. The dude's Larry Coker. I'm gonna stick with this until I'm proven wrong. I'm gonna stick with this until I'm proven wrong. I ain't
going there yet, but I can't go there yet. But I'm just I think Ohio State fans were just crestfallen over National Signing Day because I mean they had like a number 6 or 7 class, but they didn't get a bunch of guys they were in the running for. And the problem for Ohio State is, like, I think it was this year or last year, they had a big recruiting visit one weekend with a ton of guys, like high profile guys. They got none of them. Like, imagine OU's party at the Palace that they've had, right? All those guys were hyping up. Hicks was there, Bowen was there, Jackson Arnold was there. Imagine OU getting 0 of those guys. Imagine Brent having that party at the Palace in the offseason and getting 0 of all those visitors. That's basically what
violence is the answer.
Yeah, that's what happened to Ohio State one recruiting weekend apparently. So.
Yeah, it's
Swiggy, it's what you mentioned too, and we talked about very briefly. Is Ohio State's having the same issue we are a little bit about some of the NIL stuff of we're hearing the stuff in the background. They don't want to start paying. Well, they're going to go somewhere else. They don't care about facilities. They want to get paid.
The thing is,
NIL is not a problem for OU. I don't know where that's coming from.
It's just the old rumor of when we lost David Hicks of, all right, it's time to open the little checkbook.
It's bad. I mean, it's bad for Ohio State because I can tell you right now, the last thing you want is giving Ohio State boosters more power over the program. And I don't think a guy like Day just comes off to me like Sark, where he doesn't have the cachet, he doesn't have the fortitude to be able to hold back boosters. But we'll see. I mean, you know what? Admittedly, okay, even though I've been anti-Day for a while, I will say, going toe-to-toe with Georgia and having it come down to the last play of the game,
so you're anti-Day.
Yeah, I'm anti-Day. I'm all
so you're like that Adam Sandler comedy sketch on one of his albums. The nighttime is the right time. The nighttime is the right time. The night to. Dude, I want you to join this cult with me. No, I'm not going to join. Oh, come on, man! I want you. There's this girl I like. I want you to join this cult with me.
He has taken Ohio State to a national championship game. If Harrison Jr. doesn't go down, we can probably, if the cornerback doesn't slip on the field, we probably beat Georgia.
That fake punt they got off, but with Kirby calling timeout, that saved it.
What an elite coaching
That was such a game changer. I hated it. I hated it
because he said, "Oh my god!" He was running down in slow motion with his hand up and trying to like put it together. No, like you know, the fingers are trying to get inside the hand. No.
So, I mean, some things worked against him. I don't know. Show me something next year, but I'm.
Okay, let me ask you this, Wiggy. How are you feeling with Ohio State, even with Ryan Day? Do you still feel them in a playoff running, or do you think they're about to be in a regression?
They'll be in a playoff run. They're not as much as I'm calling Day Coker. It's not that bad for Ohio State. They're still getting top 10 recruiting classes. Ohio State has enough just momentum. They can keep going.
Ohio State is about to take our spot in being,
the team that's one and done.
Still be good, but you get in and you're going to lose. But
I
don't know. I don't know where we're trajecting yet, or what our trajectory is yet. We'll find out. But I like the immediate future. But we should have gotten Sonny Dykes. I wish social media and message boards did exist, but not to the extent they do now. But I wish I had clips of talk radio from 1999. And early in the year of 2000, just to hear people saying, "I don't know if this Bob Stoops guy is going to work out." You know who we should have hired?
Yeah,
we should get Frank Beamer out of Virginia Tech. That's who we should have gotten.
I mean, I'm a terrible person to suggest coaches, because whenever we had Bob when he was going through his regression. First one that popped up, and it was when Ohio State won, and I think it was 2014, 2015. I think that Tom Herman guy might be good. Maybe we should look at him. And then, it was even worse.
Ohio State tried to steal Bob, even while he was coaching the fucking game against the Florida State.
Which is funny, because in Bob's book, he says the only school that he ever entertained to leave for, and it was around 2012 or 2013. 2012, 2013 was Florida. And that's it. He's like, there was no other school I was interested in coaching. He's like, Florida, at least I had ties to. He's like, I was contacted by Notre Dame. He was contacted by
Florida. He was contacted by Florida in 2002 when Spurrier left. And
he had no interest.
He's like, dude, I just want a title here. I'm good.
Yeah. And he said the only reason was he started to feel burnout here around 2012, 2013. But then Sugar Bowl happened. And he got a second wind, essentially, and that's why he turned.
Yeah, beating Saban was what gave him a couple more years, but he kept finding reasons to get out because he's fucking done.
Yeah, and he states it's not really was the fans or anything; it was just he wanted a new challenge. At that point, was he already did it? Oh, that was the toughest part.
It was the fans. It was definitely the fans.
Oh, some of it I believe it, but I also believe like
every major fan base, like fans will exhaust.
Yeah, fans.
will exhaust you.
Yeah, fans are toxic. I'm toxic.
Right, but this was also
I'm
10
toxic.
years after he was retired.
I mean, I'm toxic. I'm toxic. I say fire people into the sun.
I swear to God, like the worst thing about social media is how some people are so comfortable about just like giving life advice to college football players or telling them like the parasocial relationships, and it's just like, dude, people have no idea how creepy they come off as sometimes when I see some of these comments from people. Yeah, man, you go, dude. Good job, Isaiah Coe, coming back, bro. You're not buddies with Isaiah Coe? You're being weird.
I'm actually
not taking that of like a fan saying it versus like, yeah, that's a little weird.
Actually, Sean, you'll appreciate this. This was my mood the entire game yesterday. Urge to kill, falling, rising.
People kept back. Yeah, people kept back.
Rising.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. People kept asking me yesterday, "Who are you rooting for?" I don't care. I just want entertaining games. Like I'm like,
yeah.
People were saying you should root for TCU because they're in the Big 12. I'm like, why? I don't know. It's like, yeah, but it's like, no, I don't give a shit. Well, we're leaving this conference. Yeah, but we're in the Big 12 now. Like,
who cares?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, no. Yeah, if I had the TCU Michigan game was
you
really
should
fun
root
for
for them. It's like, no, fuck you.
No, honestly, even when we move to the SEC, unless it's tongue in cheek like Red Dirt does, we're not rooting for the conference.
Oh, like
you root for unless you're Swiggy, you root for your team. But Swiggy, you have not.
I hope I'm gonna light the proverbial match on the way out and blow this place up. That's what I'm gonna do.
I guess I'll go for TCU just because I haven't seen them win it before, and I saw Georgia win it last year.
Oh, you want to? Because we all haven't. You want to go back in time to see Davey O'Brien and see some real old black and white reels and saying,
I don't know, man. I'm not sure my brain can handle Stetson Bennett, 2-time NCAA champion either. But
the National Collegiate Athletic Association football champions of the year of our Lord 1938. Here's Davis O'Brien accepting the award for the Heisman Trophy.
It's
that was really good.
It's.
And here's Horny the Toad. Here's Horny the Toad. Hey, Horny the Hypno Toad. Reminding all of you to Heil Hitler.
But really, I don't care. If Georgia wins, good for them.
Swiggy, it's got to
good for them.
It's got to be Georgia, because I'm just letting you know. If TCU wins, do you know how insufferable the entire state of Texas is going to be? More so than usual. But it's
going to be. Yeah, but it's.
You guys are forgetting something. If that happens, we'll have a home game against the defending national champions next year.
That's true. And how many of them?
The players that won them that game won't even be there, but it'll count on the record.
That's true. That's true.
Could you imagine giving them their first loss since that game a week from Monday? How amazing that'd be! You could pull a Texas A&M and claim a retroactive title or something.
That'd be great if they would release the schedule.
Well, they're not going to do that for another 80 years because they're still trying to figure out who gets to play who in the potential last year for OU and Texas in the league.
Is that really what it's come down to?
Yes.
My understanding is this is going to be a 2-year thing. They had it figured out, and then it's like, no, we want them here. And now all the teams that are present, they're like,
they have to change. They have to change the schedule because they assume we'd be here till 25 now. But everyone on every side wants everyone to be gone after next year, so they can't release the schedule because it's not going to be. Because everyone in the Big 12 is going to want one more shot at OU Texas, and we're probably going to have one game against one of the four.
Is the rumor?
I don't know. I think Texas and TCU Texas and UCF was a combo. I heard. I don't know. We could get BYU for all I know. I would love to, I say schedule that game on a Sunday. That way we win by default. And Well, if they don't show up, we win. That's right.
10 o'clock kickoff Central Time.
No, schedule the game at 11:59 p.m. Hey, it starts on a Saturday.
You know what's sad? Fans would show up for that too. They would absolutely show up.
Of course they would, and I would be accused of, I'd be accused of not being a real fan for not going. So
of course. Now, to be fair, I will say, Sean, and Swiggy, I do want to say real fast, I have to eat my crow because I thought TCU was going to get completely blown out of the water. I thought it was going to be what Alabama did to K-State. I thought they were an Alamo Bowl team that just had a lot of luck go their way.
That was a fun first quarter because there's a few BAM fans on my time like, oh my God, we're doing this again. Like, and so I did love that they got to suffer a little bit. Now you know how that little tear Deuce Vaughn. Now you got to feel the pain a little bit. But did you know something happened? Nick Saban did something at Alabama yesterday he has never done before. You want to hear what that is?
Please enlighten me.
Nick Saban, for the first time at Alabama, won a regular BCS / New Year's Six bowl game. Just a plain old regular BCS New Year's Six bowl game. No playoff, no national title. It's the first time it's the first time he just won a Sugar Bowl or an Orange Bowl standalone at Alabama.
He's slacking.
Because I had to think about it. I was like, my God, that's true. Because he always gets to the playoff for the national title game in the BCS era. The years he doesn't, he ended up in Orlando in the Citrus Bowl. So in the other years, it was Utah lost year one, or year two, I should say. Played against us, lost. So this is the first time he's just gone to the Sugar Bowl and won. Like what they did to K-State.
Yeah, I had to look it up. I wanted to confirm
what they did to K-State yesterday is what a lot of people thought they'd do to Oklahoma 10 years ago.
Yes. So the difference was 10 years ago, and I felt it 10 years ago that, this team wants to win it. I don't feel that with K-State. I'm like, they're about to go into a meat grinder. And to the day,
Will Anderson, Will Anderson was playing, and he's going to be probably the number 2 pick next year.
But that's the thing. Everyone played in that game on both sides who wasn't injured, of course. But but there wasn't any opt-outs. I'm like, we'll see what happens. And I'm like, we saw what happened.
Correct. And I fully believe when Deuce scored the touchdown, Alabama went, all right, we're done. We're done playing around. Time to toss you all around. And that's what they did. They destroyed Kansas State. They destroyed their crushed hopes and dreams like that.
Yeah, they said you're gonna let
that would have happened to us if we faced them too. But
you let that sawed off little short dude like run all over you. It's like they got that fixed. But
they woke up and went, oh hell no, we ain't doing this, and they stepped on him.
So, but yeah, it was it's like a little appetizer. I think I turned it off like in the third or fourth quarter, and I watched the basketball game, and it's like, oh, okay. OU basketball, we just don't have a star. Again, we just have to admit that. We have a okay team, but we don't have a guy that's going to carry us like a Buddy Hield or a Trae Young or anything like that. So they're a solid. I would have loved to have had this team or last year's team with a Trae Young because it's a more solid basketball team, because Trae carried for half a season the 1 year he was there. It was just the Trae Young show.
Yeah.
And then the second half of the season, everyone in the Big 12 conference play is, okay, I need 5 of you. All 5 of you just guard Trae Young, and no one else can make a shot. So just guard this triple team Trae Young, and we should win.
And the Colin Sexton experience at Alabama, where where it was 3-on-5 and he almost won. He still almost won.
Yeah. So do we even talk about the Cheez-It Bowl at this point?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, I was impressed by it. I mean, I think OU really came out and wanted to truly win the game. I don't think Florida State played down to us. It was a solid game. It just the pendulum swung yet again against us. It is what it is.
My favorite comments I saw from people on my stream. Oh my God, they're making the same mistakes they did all year. I'm like, What the fuck did you expect?
Right. It didn't get fixed.
What did you expect to happen?
Right. And what it came down to was...
Same problems the teams had all year are still there?
Right. And I saw a lot of people...
You can't just
we
fix
mean
those
we
problems
don't
in a
have a
month.
pass rush?
Correct. And I saw the people, Sean, where on the message boards where they kept blaming that Sawchuck lost us the game. I'm like, no, guys, like, yeah, it happened. It's
my favorite was
die by the
what was it Sawchuck playing all year? Because the fact that he played well on Thursday night meant he would have played that well in September. No, that's not how that shit works.
No.
Right. And it also they had a month to prepare for Florida State.
And plus,
I think that played a lot.
To be fair, Eric Gray was a better version of Sawchuck.
Yes, he was. In my opinion, after Nebraska. It was either Nebraska or after Nebraska was when Gray finally picked up and thought what he was going to be. He became that player for it. But you're right. It is what it is.
And but here's what I did. They played well. I wanted them to win at the end. It didn't happen. So going into that game, it's like Chris Murray's not playing now. Fuck my life. We're down 4 offensive linemen. Jacob Sexton's out after 2 plays. Tore his ACL. Fuck my life. We're down to like a 3rd or 4th string at left tackle. Pass blocking it did not exist that night.
No, it was non-existent.
I was very impressed how solid run blocking was at times. People were ripping on Savion Bird. Oh, Savion Bird made all these mistakes, dude. He made some plays too. He made some.
Josh McQuistion was really ripping on the O-line. I'm like, dude, that was probably the best unit all night. Was the
no, don't get me wrong. It was not a great overall performance. Not even close.
No.
Like I wouldn't grade it high either. But what I'm talking about is
it was.
What trying to win that game against the D-line and the experience that FSU had with some of the guys who are going to go in the league at some point. I was impressed with how they were able, and despite how much people hate him, Dylan Gabriel played his butt off that night.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Dylan was fine. I had no issues with Dylan whatsoever. I wish Mims got involved a little bit more, but I think he got hurt.
He got a little dig, so last week we were on the Mims is coming back train. I think we're now back on the Mims is leaving train. It's back and forth like every week now. We were on the he's coming back. Now people are leaning towards he's leaving now. So we got like 2 weeks before he actually has to make a decision. So enjoy the roller coaster while it lasts. But Isaiah Coe is coming back. He announced tonight. So that's official, and
that's going to make the line.
Thank Christ!
That experience.
I mean, I'm not sitting here telling you Isaiah Coe is a world beater, but
but what's their names with Jacob Lacey and everybody coming in?
I think a lot of people assumed Coe was coming back, but that's going to help a lot. So
I feel like Marvin Mims.
We're trying to get transfers from Texas State. That's where we're at right now. So
you got to fill it. Yeah. What guys announced from the game? It was Reggie White, of course, which that's fine. I mean,
Reggie White.
What's his name? White.
Reggie White is dead.
Not Reggie White. Then
the Hall of Famer for the Eagles and the Packers. He's
no. White. He declared what about 4 or 5 hours before our live stream that he was going to the NFL. But we've been wanting him to go to the NFL.
Who?
White.
Oh, DeShawn
White. I keep thinking Reggie White. DeShawn White. He declared and he's going. It's like,
I don't know how you confuse the two. Reggie White. It's like the minister of defense. The minister of defense for the Packers and the Eagles.
Because I keep thinking Reggie Grimes and it's putting Reggie White instead. That's why.
I'm having flashbacks. You haven't given me flashbacks to the 90s, dude.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's the 90s. Smoke a lot of weed and vote for Bill Clinton.
Anyway, but no, DeShawn White, he declared. I mean, I think everybody saw that coming at this point.
Anyway.
I'm not disappointed.
Anyway. So yeah. Cheez-It Bowl, we lost. How about that?
Amazing.
Yeah. Was there anything else that you thought that OU did actually pretty well? I have to say, there is something I really hope during the offseason it has to be fixed. Venables has got to figure something out on his clock management. Burning both of those timeouts was, to me, a bigger impact than Sawchuck fumbling. To me, OU could have had a chance at the end, but burning it and then they were wastes. To me, that was the bigger impact.
That's every rookie head. That's every rookie head coach, though.
Well, he's dealing with a bunch of guys who are frankly not doing any. He doesn't have all the pieces there. So
right.
Where did you see DeShawn White declaring for the draft again?
It was on Twitter.
So he did?
Yeah.
I mean, he's out of eligibility anyway. So I don't know why I mean, declaring it's so.
Yeah, he declared 2 hours ago on his Twitter. DEMOETO.
Oh, okay. Well, I just assumed I had him as out of eligibility, and I guess he could have had I have no idea who has a COVID year or not a COVID year. I can't wait till we get 10 years past this shit where we're back to some sort of normalcy.
Well,
because it's like I thought Drake Stoops was done, but I guess Drake can come back. It's like okay, because we got to get like starting next year, shit has to get back to normal for roles purposes. Because
Jalen Hurts is younger than Stetson Bennett.
Anyway.
I'm just saying.
Speaking of which, like the Eagles need Jalen Hurts to be healthy for next week because if he's not, if the Eagles lose next week and the Cowboys win the NFC East. I'm very much hoping that happens. So go Giants, do your thing. The Giants clinched the playoffs today, so maybe they're not in a hurry and they're not going to win the division. But come on, G-Man, you don't want the Eagles to do well. Come on, like do Dallas a solid. Don't look at it as helping Dallas. Look at it as making Philly's life miserable. Like they're your real rivals. Like the Philly Giants, those are the rivals. Like don't look. You're not helping Dallas. You're making Philadelphia miserable. And that's what matters at the end.
That's what you're hoping for.
I'm hoping the NFL will raise the goddamn kickoff times for the games next week. Fuck me. Like they're doing this thing now with week 18. Well, we're gonna every game is flexed. Every game. So you don't know when games are gonna kick off or what channel they're gonna be on. It's a night. So like supposedly it's gonna be tonight at some time. And I'm like, I'd like to know when Dallas kicks off next week.
Sunday Night Football is gonna be the Titans and Jaguars.
I know they announced some games already, but like
yeah.
Just tell me Dallas Washington's a 1:00 kick, and so I can get my Reddit feed to go so I can watch it. Because we're probably not gonna get that game here.
What game do you think you get? The Jackson one?
No, Jacksonville's on Sunday Night Football. So
they probably will be, just because that's a winner take all game, and I want to watch Josh Dobbs play Trevor Lawrence.
Anyway, so I have no idea what's open tomorrow because technically tomorrow is observed New Year's Day, and some things were open today. So it's a back-to-back like messed up deal where it's like, okay, so something might be open tomorrow, something might like regular places like fast food places were open today for the most part.
Right.
Which was so I don't know if they're open tomorrow. Maybe they will be, maybe they won't be. I'm trying to figure out if I can go get a haircut tomorrow. Because my regular haircut place is closed on Sunday anyway. Are they closed tomorrow? So it's I don't know. I might do it just early Tuesday before I venture over downtown potentially. So
I mean,
I'm just trying to figure my shit out. I'm just trying to figure out shit I can do.
Outside of banks, trash, and what's it called? The mail. I'd assume most things are open.
What's it called? The mail. Yes.
The mail.
My job is technically closed tomorrow, but okay. But I'm probably gonna be there.
I mean, to be fair, mine is too. Like it's observed, as Sean said, it's observed New Year's, but I wouldn't see any reason why anything wouldn't be closed.
We have more football tomorrow, like all day football.
Thank God.
Who plays tomorrow?
That's right.
Well, we're gonna see how accurate, how effective a certain Caleb Williams like hamstring is against Tulane, I guess.
That's why I miss the World Cup.
That's right.
Miss having sports on at 7 a.m.
And then we get the Rose Bowl with Utah and Penn State, where the 5 best players have opted out. So
wait! You mean the Rose Bowl is on January 2nd? I can't deal with this. I just can't deal.
Well, yeah, because
society is breaking down.
Well, no matter how powerful the Rose Bowl thinks it is, it's nothing compared to the Shield. So you're not bumping the NFL. So, and then we got like Bills and Bengals tomorrow night, which is awesome. So
that what you're telling me is you're going to have a very nice, relaxing day with just watching football outside of the haircut situation.
That game's going to kill me tomorrow.
I don't know. I'm going to try to. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Like if I get a haircut on Tuesday, fine. I'll just go get one before I leave and go watch Under Armour practices have been interesting and fun. If you're an OU fan, they've been keeping up with that. So
yeah, a little bit of it. I mean, you could talk about that a little bit, Sean, because that's kind of been all over Twitter. What I've been seeing about Jackson Arnold and Peyton Bowe, all those guys who didn't come for the early practices.
Well, it's Jacoby Johnson got there late because guess what? He had a Southwest flight last week. So it took him a minute. Goodness. It took him a little bit to get to Orlando. But he got there. OU's got like 7 guys at this thing. She would have had 8 if not for Derek LeBlanc decided he was going to practice with OU during the bowl practices with a couple other guys. So trying to where is my link here?
Well, I know they were really raving about Jackson Arnold. Like he was their overall number 1 definitely today for day 3 practices.
Yeah, so I think it's right here. Yeah, here it is.
And for Kansas State, good for them. Avery Johnson as well. They said he was fantastic.
Yeah, Jackson Arnold was consistently the best QB. PJ Atabare was dominating everybody he was going up against, including Bama's number 1 offensive lineman. So little feature SEC matchup there potentially. I think Rivals is the only one who doesn't have him as a 5-star. So there's still going to be more recruiting services updates before when February comes around, because that's when they do it. So all recruiting we're number 5 right now, but there's gonna be more recruiting because there'll be a handful of commitments for February, and there's Nicholas Harbor, I think, is one guy that's a big guy, that's a big commit that hasn't. So there'll be a handful of names to look for on February. Peyton Bowen looking good. It's just amazing coverage ability, great instincts as usual. Lewis Carter's the guy I think we'll be talking about in a couple of years. I think he's definitely going to redshirt, in my opinion, because he's only 200 pounds. He needs to put on some weight. But the dude has natural instincts. He's got great instincts as a linebacker, and that's one thing that you need in a Brent Venables defense.
You need smart players. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
That's something...
But just the dude is just, he just see things. He's really good at seeing things and just making plays. Caden Green, he's an early enrollee, and I don't know how things are going to turn out, but I think apparently he can play either tackle or guard. He could be a solid tackle or an elite guard, apparently, from what I understand. So I have nothing against elite guard play. We used to have elite guard play a couple years ago. So true freshmen I believe can play guard. That's just my personal opinion. Tackle is a different story. Yeah. I would not want a true freshman at tackle, but tackle or center is no true freshman plays, but guard, sure. I think they can pick it up. And I think Jaquez Petaway is going to definitely get some playing time next year, the way things are going. So at wide receiver. So I look forward to, I know receiver is one of those, there's a lot of unproven commodities, unfortunately. It's going to be, it'll be nerve wracking if we don't have that guy. We just really it's the feeling is right now, if Mims goes, it's like you got Farouk and Drake Stoops are going to be your familiar faces that you feel like can make plays. If you want to throw Stogner in there, potentially him coming back.
There's experience there, though. I mean, it's not like we're going to.
Yeah, but if you lose, but we don't have. Like Nick Anderson got a catch in the bowl game. Like, it's Nick Anderson! Oh my god! Like,
yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I was like, who's number 4? Oh my god, it's Nick Anderson! Which, of course, like I had Eric on the stream with me, and of course we had to make Orlando Magic jokes because Nick Anderson was like Nick Anderson was the very first draft pick for the Magic ever, and was part of like the early 90s teams that were really good. So
is the chat's been asking, Sean, do you know if was Arch Manning there this weekend?
Who?
Arch Manning. You know, that random 3-star.
I don't know who that is. Arch who?
Arch who, yeah. I mean, I expect it with
I'm
the movement.
Googling Arch Manning. Does he sell insurance?
He does.
Arch. I don't think he's playing. No, I don't think he's playing the other. I think he's playing in the other game.
Gotcha. I figured he didn't because the name didn't pop up at all this weekend, but well, there was 2. Speaking of recruits, Sean, as well. Are we? I know they announced them like yesterday and today for it. Are we in the running for Stacey Gage or Ryan Pelham? If I'm saying his last name right. Pelham announced his top 10. He's that 4-star wide receiver, and then Stacey Gage has had that. He's been around. I've heard his name a couple times for it, but he dropped down to his top 8, and OU was in that one.
As of right now, I am. I know people have. One person put in a prediction for him. It was Parker Thune. That was a while ago. Don't rule out the Gators right now.
Yeah.
If you made me pick right now, I might pick the Gators right now.
Yeah. Is it coming down to them in the U at the moment?
No, it's still way too early, but it's just Brent has success and obviously in Florida this year. I'm just
it's still too early.
It's too early for me to go. I mean, Parker put in a prediction super early. So as we've learned, a lot can change.
Is that kind of like
I mean, everyone's got Bama, Ohio State, OU, USC as like their top. Yeah, these are the ones, but I'm not ruling out Florida schools right now.
Gotcha. I was just curious because the recruiting websites were saying that yesterday, and I know we're already moved on to 24.
Here's the thing about 24. Like we're starting to see some guys commit now because remember Peyton Bowen committed January 1st, 2022 to Notre Dame. So we all know how that turned out. So the first big visits you're going to get are like spring game stuff. So I think the big stuff is Brent is going to set up visits for the spring game. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have a little statue dedication, part 2, Electric Boogaloo with Kyler Murray. And he'll hopefully be able to attend, and hopefully it looks like him. And he doesn't look like a Terminator.
But that'll be the best, won't it? No, it will not be.
Like they got the Selman statues right, thank God.
Yeah, they did. Like I said, there has to be a rule about it. But
do you guys see the Dirk statue that the Mavericks gave?
No.
The only statue I've seen better is the Jordan statue in Chicago.
Oh, is that the one? If I'm looking at it right now, the one where he's tossing.
The fade back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jordan statue in Chicago is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, they got the guy who did the Jordan. They got the guy who did the Jordan statue in Chicago to do the Dirk statue. So, yeah.
Well, that would be a wise move.
Yeah.
Money well spent.
Oh yeah, that's slick. That's really slick.
That's what happens when you pay good money for a statue.
I mean, when you win, at least for like
That's what happens when you shell out
pick,
money.
Look, OU's on a budget apparently, Sean, because we don't have money.
Hey,
That's what everyone keeps telling me.
I mean, at least we didn't do what Texas did all those years ago when they got those, but when they literally got those racist McDonald's play place plastic things.
Oh God!
I could not believe someone okayed that. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's
all right, we need some statues.
We want because we're Texas. We're going to honor everybody in every sport, but we're on a budget. What can you do? We can get McDonald's play statues for $500 a pop from Taiwan. Custom made. And what I mean custom, we can change the number on a jersey and everyone looks the same and has the same pose.
They're so bad.
Hey man,
it just announced Woody Washington is also coming back next year.
Woo! Some people hate him for whatever reason, but good. Woody's coming back. Awesome.
Yeah, Woody Washington about 10 minutes ago announced he was coming back.
Yeah, buddy, let's do it. Woody's coming back.
Trying to see if there was any others. As you said, Isaiah Coe.
Give me something to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah. I was trying to see if there was any others. Any other freakouts about what's his name? About Trace Ford? Have you seen anything else?
Yeah.
Trace Ford's Twitter game is fantastic. Since this whole ordeal. What did he say? He said something to Gottlieb that just had me rolling. I forgot. Let me find his tweet. He called him a silly goose.
Yeah, I love my family.
I fucking died. He called him silly goose.
I love my family. I love fishing. Why would I want to leave Oklahoma, silly goose? That's good.
And I'm just like, I'm trying to imagine him saying that in is it possible he could already be my favorite OU player next year? Is it possible? Because he dunked on Gottlieb. If you dunk on Gottlieb, you're already a hero to me already. But now you're on the OU football team, so I might like you anymore. I might like you even more.
Oh, did you see he dunked on another fan too? He's like, Trace has been with Oklahoma State since 2019. How that's not my genetics to transfer down there, you clown. He's like, want a cookie? You're right. He has some pretty good. Yeah.
I love him. I love this dude.
He doesn't take bullshit.
He's just he points out like he points out little bitches and said, "That's cool, bro." Whatever you say. You want to get? I would never do such a thing. It's like, please, more. God.
Well, and he even asked him. Someone really.
He's embracing the heel turn, man.
Well, in the comments, someone really asked him why leave, and it was a genuine question. He's like, "Look, sometimes you just need a reset, and that his injuries just were mentally draining. He just wants to go somewhere else, and that's okay." Like.
But he didn't want to leave the state. He wants to stay close to home. So
yeah, there's only one other school that's actually going to do that for his career, and it ain't Tulsa.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, you could go to Tulsa in theory, but it's like, just like
his talent.
The fact that Gottlieb went full Facebook fan was just, and then he just like, it's like unbelievable.
I mean, it's Gottlieb. He lied for the Atlanta Braves, and then
you lost your mind with Caleb,
and then he was forced to give an apology, saying
he
was wrong.
Who was
Gottlieb? Because he made up some. That was a few. It was a few months ago.
Oh, you're talking about where he falsified information on the baseball deal.
Yeah, basically made up. Basically.
Well, he's a criminal. Like Doug Gottlieb's a fucking criminal in real life, and he's also
basically the Braves wanted him to say something. He said something, and then the agent sued him. Which is funny.
He's Doug Gottlieb's a piece of shit. He's a criminal, and also add to the fact that he would steal college kids like old school Bleacher Report article ideas and claim them as his own. So. and I have evidence to support this. So
Everybody
because I paid attention to this shit in 2010 when he was doing this shit.
Well, and it keeps popping up with it. I heard it all this week with it when they were railing about him, and they're like, "Bro, you stole stuff. Like, what room do you have to talk?" And it was all over the radio. They said they don't know what was a bigger story about that surfacing back up again, or Gundy's comments, of course.
I would forgive him, honestly, if he shoplifted something, because you're not really hurting someone that much. So I'm being dead serious. If he had shoplifted something, like free shoes, University of Florida State or wherever they did, it's like, all right, you took from a department store. All right, they write off the loss or whatever. You took someone's credit card, and that is such a personal violation of another human being, and just, God damn, what a piece of shit. I just want to. He has such a punchable face too. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's just such a god awful human being. What a miserable little fuck he is. He's just so fucking mind-numbingly. God, I wish I could turn into Giant Man and squash him like in a German airport. I just wish I could.
Just call him a silly goose, apparently, and that will piss him off even more.
Well, I guess, but I just what a miserable human being he is. But anyway,
I mean, and I know you've talked about Klatt and everybody like that. It just seems like he's always even more ridiculous. Like, I'll be honest, who's worse, him or Robert Allen?
Well, no, Robert Allen is like a paid-for mouthpiece for Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy. He's bought and paid for. He's on the payroll. So Robert Allen is just like, it's just sad and pathetic. Like, I'm like, I was hoping to hear, like, did anyone, like, when the Traber shit came up about him talking shit about the OU play-by-play crew, just talking about ripping Teddy and Gabe. Who are these guys who are on this broadcast? He is so fucking out of touch.
Yeah, he is.
He doesn't even know. Like, he doesn't pay attention anymore. He's so lazy and just lives off of his, like, what little credibility he has left, what little cachet he has in the Oklahoma City area. Like,
yep.
I used to listen, like, 13 years ago, 09, 10. I would listen on the reg to the Sports Animal when football stuff was getting going. And now, because you could listen streaming even back then, it's like, nowadays, no. Like, what the hell am I going to listen to on, the Total Dominance Hour or whatever? What the hell am I going to hear on that station that I can't hear from 48 different places on the internet?
I know what exactly you can hear, though, Sean Swiggy. It's our favorite pastime on Fridays. It's Guess the Song That Nobody Cares About from 1940.
Oh, they still do that?
Segment.
Oh, they still do
it. And the morning animals are the ones that always make fun. They're like, guys, nobody wants to hear this. It's Friday. People want to talk football. I listen to the morning animals. I love the morning animals.
It's time for the greatest segment. Guess this old song. I'm playing Candy Crush. Can you just call me when you're talking some sports? It's time. That's another thing. There was a slow moment in like the Ohio State Georgia game last night, like during commercials, and we start talking about movies. I start giving, and some douchebag comes in and get me. Why are you talking about movies? It's a 5-minute commercial with an injury on the field. You dumb fuck. What else do you want me to talk about? Right? I've been streaming for 6.5 hours. Apparently,
they wanted you to talk about music and guess some tunes or something.
No, they were mad at me because I wasn't like in like. This fucking loser is like, I've been an OU fan longer than you, which I should have responded, do you want a cookie? And I'm just like, and then like, I let it go. Then he just like kept on talking. And then finally he dropped, we're all talking about like New Year's is about to happen. It's like, I hope I wake up tomorrow and Donald Trump is president. And I'm like, goodbye.
Block.
You're gone.
Block. Steve,
it's like, did you block him? And I'm just like, I'm not acknowledging. It's like
that's a block. That's an automatic.
Well, this guy was a moron from the minute he walked into the chat. It's just like,
Sean, I will give you credit though. It took 3 years 3 years for you and I to at least finally convince Dad not to listen to Dean Blevins anymore. It took 3 years. But
Dean is an idiot.
Dean is absolutely an idiot, but it took us 3 years to convince Dad that he's an idiot.
Dean is a moron. Dean has a fake account on Sooner Scoop, and he always signs every post he makes at News9.
Yeah.
And everyone knows it's him. Like, everyone knows it's him. It's like, so it's just so sad.
Oh, it is. I mean, and that's...
I used to defend Dean like years ago when people were like, it's like, oh man, this is one of our own, man. He's going through a tough time right now. And now it's like, fucking Dean Blevins. Shut the fuck up.
Dean has the same problem that Al does. The time has passed them by and it's time for them to retire.
Well, no, it's like, yeah, the days of like, we need these people for our information it's gone now. Like, they are not the only ones who get information out there. Like, I'm not saying I'm one of those people, but there are so many other sources and like there's so many other avenues to get your fix.
Yeah,
it's like you don't have to listen to just like someone calling you a liberal pig or whatever, like every other day, or you have Al taking his annual Thailand vacation.
That's the funny part, is that's what people tune into, is wanting to hear how ridiculous that gets every year. And even the morning animals are like, we just don't listen in the afternoon. It's that bad. It's two old guys fighting on a park bench.
Well, yeah, I years ago I did a stupid bit, which, I mean, it's stupid, and it's the point.
It's not stupid. I always find entertainment in it.
Or I do my one-man Al, Jim and Al argument, which is the same argument they have every time
year.
they get into an argument. Well, it's just the cadence and the delivery. It's like, it could be about anything, but it's like Jim is like declaring how OU concession stands are not elite, and then Al's like, what are you talking about? OU's got some of those elite concession stands in the country. And then it's like, it all boils down to like, they don't have Dr. Pepper, and that's why they're not elite. So,
I mean, you made our entire tailgate crack up with that. So in my opinion,
did I do that at the tailgate?
Yeah, you did. God. And you had everybody.
I don't remember
on that. Dad, Don, Misty, and Mom were all cracking up because they all hate Traber too. It's been a grown one. It took convincing, but they thought it was hysterical.
I'm telling you, Al, I've been covering Oklahoma football for many years on this station, and finally, it's come to pass. I have to say it because it's the truth. The concession stands at Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, they're just not elite. What are you talking about? Oklahoma concession stands were the most elite concession stands in the country. They got this. Ow! They don't have Dr. Pepper. How could you be an elite concession stand if you don't have Dr. Pepper? But they have nachos, they have hot dogs, they have the pizza. Ow! You're not listening to me. If you don't have the tastiest soda in the country, how can you compete nationwide with other stadiums? You can't do it. You just can't do it. I totally disagree. Everything else makes them. It's all about the foundation. You have to have the tastiest soft drink. It doesn't work without it. You can't win a game without a quarterback. You can't win a concession stand battle without Dr. Pepper. Ding, 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 ding. Casinos going on in the background. It's a terrible bit. It's awful.
But it was so spot on. That's the funny part, because you can see both of them arguing about that to the dot like that, and then Traber would be like, "Well, you're just wrong, Al. Let's take a whatever water break, blah blah blah." Yeah, like you can see.
Let's take some phone calls on this. First time call. All right, we'll get you some Johnnies. Do they still give away free Johnnies?
Yeah, they do.
They still give away free Johnnies.
Yeah.
All right, first time we'll get you some Johnnies. It's like, yeah, Jim, I know about the Dr. Pepper, but, I know, but what about, they got Mr. Pibb. It's like, okay, hang up on him. Hang up. You did not just come on this radio station and tell me that Mr. Pibb was an adequate replacement for Dr. Pepper. How many liberal pigs are going to call up to this station and stick up for Mr. Pibb? Anyway, there you go.
Fantastic. That was beautiful.
Amazing. That's
And then, but remember too, Al would laugh at that. He'd be like, like he's about to hack the Yeah, fantastic. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Because as you said, it's like a Mad Lib. You can put anything in and it would work.
You can argue about anything. You could argue about the MCU.
Yep.
You could argue about who's best pony, whatever the fuck you want.
Yep. Anything at all. I mean, you literally could argue anything at all and it would work. I'm surprised that hasn't caught on yet, but whatever. Either way, you have.
Well, no, it's not. It's a silly bit. It's not like a funny bit. It's just. You have to be. It's not funny unless you know. If you ever listen,
correct.
Listen to them.
If it's just like Oklahoma, how everybody complains about All I Want for Christmas. We're like, yeah, we have our own version with the BC Clark anniversary sale. Trust us. There are worse things in the world.
Anniversary sale.
And see. Because the sales are after Christmas.
The sales are after Christmas.
Anyway. Admit it, you miss it.
I mean, it's on the internet if I ever want to listen to it. So,
it's funny. The guy who made that, he said that he regrets making it because he thought it was only going to last like 1 or 2 seasons. He's like, and it's still going. I'm sorry, internet.
What? It's a tradition. It's there.
He didn't think it's one of his best like compositions or whatever.
Like the Animal did this bit every year, and it was. I'm trying to think here. They would do the Stoops Thanksgiving. Do you remember that at all?
No, I don't.
It was like a pre-recorded radio bit where they would like it was the most unfunniest thing ever. Everyone someone would do their Bob Stoops impression, and they would invite people over, and they would have it was just they used to have them all on the website back in the day, but that they're all gone now. I think I have like one of those like downloaded somewhere. It's just so the old Stoops things.
I'll be honest, the most I remember from the radio bits was usually like during an OU Texas weekend when they always have like the new song or something, obviously your bit. And honestly, I find it more the only thing that seemed to catch mainstream from it was when used to 7-8 years ago was Fake Jerry Jones. Like I know that
Fake Jerry is actually fun. Well, Fake Jerry is like by the Ticket in Dallas.
Right.
And that's actually funny.
Right. I haven't heard that in such a long time either. Did they stop that bit?
No, they still do it.
Okay.
That is a cornerstone of the Musers every Tuesday, every Monday on a football season. I don't think they did it last week because I think they were off because like I think they'll have one tomorrow. Maybe? Well, maybe not tomorrow. Like it's holidays are weird for Fake Jerry sometimes, but Fake Jerry is great.
By the way, speaking of NFL, it just came to me. Swiggy, I need to know, what do you think of Major Tutty?
I don't know what that is.
It's the Commanders' new mascot.
I mean, unless he can play quarterback, it doesn't matter.
Oh God, you just reminded me of something about the Fake Jerry thing.
Wentz was horrible today. God, see that's the thing about the NFL. Doesn't matter how bad you are. Somehow 2 teams will trade for you and give up first-round picks, and it will destroy both those teams.
That's about right.
Goddamn Carson Wentz. I mean, you know what? I mean, I'll say this year, the Browns are dumb for a lot of reasons, but I guess they were right about Carson Wentz's back. We would have gotten like 2 good years out of him, and then nothing but pain. So, hats off. Hats off. They did nothing with the picks they traded for him in true Browns fashion, but they were technically correct. So, hats off. I don't know.
Look, one of your sports teams in Ohio will be good, but it's just like with Sean. OU and Cowboys cannot be good at the same time. Your basketball and your football teams cannot be good at the same time.
That Cavs championship can sustain me like another 20 years. That was one of the destroying the 73 run Warriors, now long won the title of best team ever. LeBron somehow leading in blocks, steals, assists, rebounds, and points. And 2 championships would have been nice, but that's just an all-time championship run. I love it.
God. Like I said, you can't have them all good at the same time, but when they succeed, you succeed.
You just remind me of something about the fake Jerry stuff.
What?
I would post them. I would always capture them and post them on my channel back in the day.
Yeah.
And people thought I made those myself.
Really? See, now I haven't heard that. I remember them arguing like, when are you going to post the next one?
It's like, dude, just go to the website. I just do it for archive purposes. And that's all. That's the only reason I did it, was for archive purposes. And it's like, but people thought I did them. Because you sound like one of the guys. Like, I do? I don't think so. They thought I was like one of the musicians. Like, joining us now on the ticket hotline is the owner and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. They thought I was like, the one talking to Jerry. It's like, no.
I mean, you do have a radio voice. I'm just saying.
I guess so. One day I'll get back on radio.
Also, Sean, I was reminded last year the Week 18 schedule was announced on a Monday, so you may be waking up and seeing the Dallas schedule tomorrow.
Fuck me, I want it now. I'm bored.
Here's my question, Sean. From all like the bits and everything and all the impressions that you do, which one's always been the easiest for you to like immediately come up with something with? Because I've heard the Traber and the Owl before. I've heard your Bob.
I don't really do impressions. That's not really what I do. It's just I don't think I'm any good at any of them. It's just I
mean, your Bob one's pretty on point, but everybody figured out how to do Bob.
My Bob, like you flatter me too much. My Bob is not good. I know certain mannerisms and words and crutch words and phrases he uses, but I'm not like
speaking of what, remember when Bob stopped taking those radio calls? By the way, I was there when that happened. I went, oh, Bob looks like he's about to stab somebody. Like he had that. We're done here. Like
Tubby just sitting there like, and that's the last call we're ever gonna take.
Yeah, and everyone in the studio was like, oh shit. Like I just remember it called in. We didn't. I was like, oh, he's gonna call. He's gonna.
Hey, Bob Stoops, you suck. I was like, okay.
Yeah, and it kept going, and we're like, oh shit, this is gonna change our show format, isn't it? And it sure did. It pissed Bob off. Thanks, person, for calling in and pissing Bob off.
Yeah, well, what? Like, it was a waste of time anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, it was.
It's like, all due respect to fans, like, what the hell are you going to ask and what the hell is he going to say that's going to be groundbreaking? Let's be honest here.
It's what you've said before. They're looking for a response, just like that happened with Gundy. He may, if he's smart,
but someone was actually doing their job and saying, "Hey, coach, this time of year, we got a lot of coaching changes and staffs. Like, do you plan to make any? We're not going to talk to you for a month or two, so might as well ask this now and see if there's. How dare you? There's people's families involved.
We have to eat. Yeah, so do the reporters, Gundy. But thanks for playing.
I didn't watch much of Brent's press conference after the Cheez-It Bowl, but there was no groundbreaking like Twitter viral videos popping up about him saying anything.
No. So national championships next Monday. Who do you have in that? Do you have Georgia?
I have Georgia and TCU playing in that game. Yes, I do.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
It's a bold prediction on my.
I have Georgia State.
TCU will have the shorter flight.
Unless they're on Southwestern.
TCU will have a chance to win the game.
I mean, that's true.
I predict Georgia to win the coin toss. Georgia will wear their red home uniforms. TCU will wear some sort of combination. Because I don't know what their official road unis are, but yeah, there you go.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, we're gonna be talking about this game a week from now, anyway, aren't we?
I mean, yeah, a week from now because it'll be the next day, I guess.
We'll have a whole week of like stuff happening. And
do you? Okay, I'll put it this way: do you like the spread that Georgia is a 13.5 favorite over TCU, or do you think it's going to be much closer?
I think it's very nice that they give spreads.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, Johnny Tight Lips.
Well, okay, Swiggy, here's my question for you. I haven't asked you yet. Do you think Harbaugh is going to go to Broncos?
I mean, I think if not the Broncos, he is going to go to a NFL team. I mean, he had one foot at the door last year. It was the situation with the Vikings was really weird because honestly, I was surprised they even flew Harbaugh in that they weren't offering him the job. But I mean, his time with the Niners was good. He's kind of an annoying guy, but I mean, if you're the Broncos, you've given Russ this giant contract. You can't really afford an unproven head coach just because you just can't at this point. So, I mean, I do believe the Broncos are going to. Broncos make the most sense, at least of the jobs that are open right now. They need to win now, and I don't know. I mean, because if they get Harbaugh, who do they go and get with experience?
If I'm Harbaugh, I don't take either of those jobs because not too many people want the Broncos or the Colts job right now. The only reason he would take the Colts job is because, well, you were a player, you play quarterback there. You almost made the game-winning touchdown to upset the Steelers that 1 year.
That 1 year.
Dude, I was listening to that game in the car on the way home, and I was trying to let's get home. I want to see the end. And I heard the radio call of how the ball was rolling off the dude's leg and he couldn't grab it in the end zone on the Hail Mary. And it's like the Colts would have played the Cowboys instead of the Steelers. And it's like, holy shit, what an amazing finish that would have been. But it wasn't going to matter because the Cowboys were winning the Super Bowl anyway.
Yeah.
A team was that team was loaded. That was pre salary cap NFL.
But I just don't. I mean, they need. I think he will take the Broncos job because the Walmart owners are just going to throw enough money at him. They have to do something after the disaster that was Hackett. So
stay at Michigan.
I don't think I don't know. I think he'll take it, but
he's on a 2-game winning streak against Ohio State. He's good.
Yeah. Oh, he is good. But he should stay. I'll put it this way: he should stay at Michigan, but I think the Broncos will pry him out. If the Broncos can't pry him out,
Broncos is not a great job right now.
That's a chance to be really hilarious next year. Because if they don't get Harbaugh, they're going to panic hire anyone who was a successful head coach at some point. So, Jason Garrett, come on down.
Jason Garrett.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
I mean, he has experience. He'd be willing to take that job. He'd have to have someone. Well, he'd be insane enough. So.
Well, okay. If Harbaugh did leave, is there any name out there right now for Michigan that they would immediately go hire? I don't think so at the moment. Not off the top of my head, I'll be up front.
They probably do what Notre Dame did and just move one of their coordinators into the head coaching job.
So you, as a Ohio State person, you'd be like, "This is fantastic."
I mean. It's kind of. I like it. I mean, at least Harbaugh has made the rivalry kind of fun again. Not that I don't. I want to beat him every year.
Well, he hasn't made the rivalry fun again. He's actually made it a rivalry.
Well,
again.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's exactly because
because it wasn't a goddamn rivalry for fucking 15 years.
Nope.
Yeah. It was.
Nope. Nope. So. I want to beat him every year, but it's like...
Yeah, Mike Greenberg on ESPN, screaming about, it's not a rivalry.
If Harbaugh stays, it's fine. I have no I guess this is my thing. I have enough faith. I do, even though I'm low on Ryan Day, I have enough faith that Ohio State can beat Michigan every year. So whoever's the coach.
Yeah. Which, like, I was just curious on it. It's the same thing of if Harbaugh doesn't take, who does Denver pick up? Well, Jason Garrett's one. Do you think Riley would take it? I'm being serious on that.
I think I was talking about it with you a little bit. I think there's definitely a good chance Riley jumps to an NFL job this year because I don't think he wants to go to the big. I don't think he wants to go to the Big Ten.
I would love for Riley to fucking hit his ejection seat and to drop USC after a year so I can laugh at their fucking misery.
And
would you have a 10-minute video on that?
10? That seems pretty short.
I mean, I question if his stock is ever going to be higher. So
he's got another Heisman winner, and he's like,
well, that's why I'm asking, because
just watching him leave in the middle of the night
again. Well, and that's why I'm curious, because Andrew, that's stuck with
USC interim USC head coach Alex Grinch. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Oh God, I'm so here for that.
Oh God, they would go insane.
USC interim head coach Alex Grinch. See so many. You'd be a mass suicide of hardcore SC fans across the country.
By mass suicide,
what would Platt do?
Hold up. 3 people isn't a mass suicide, man.
Hey, 3 people. Hey, 3 or more people is a mass shooting. So 3 or more people is a mass suicide.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
By definition, that's true.
Yeah.
By the definition. But so
2 is a double homicide. 3 is a mass shooting.
Yeah. Sean, does that mean that Klatt would lose his mind if Grinch was made interim?
No. It's not about USC. It's about Riley. People he loved Riley when he was at OU. It's a man crush, not a school crush. People forget that.
Gotcha.
It's different. It's the same thing with Harbaugh, with the Fox people and
he'll be
all the morons at ESPN who love Michigan and Harbaugh. It's Jim Harbaugh's so great.
Klatt would just be like, man, the Broncos are getting a great NFL coach in Riley.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to be a Super Bowl winner, and he'd be focused on the Broncos.
You could write Klatt's opening statement on Cowherd on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it is he shows up and does his sprinkly spot.
It would be another bit you would add because you already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, what you have here is a match made in heaven. You have an NFL franchise desperate for offensive innovation. And what you got with Lincoln Riley, and granted, Russell Wilson is on the back end of his career, but you pair him with the genius mindset of Riley, and you put them together. I think the NFL needs to watch out, because I think the things you're going to see on Sundays moving forward, boy, just the people he could bring with him too. And hey, even if they don't win, who's going to draft Caleb Williams #1? I think I know who's going to move up the draft boards and grab his quarterback fairly quickly. Not to mention, if Kyler Murray's not happening in Arizona, he could go get him too. So I think it's a great move for the Broncos. It's a great move for the NFL, and it's just going to be more exciting to what I don't know.
Yeah, that's
pretty spot on.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it would go.
And you know what's sad? If it did happen and he's
not much of a guy to make it he doesn't have a thing, it's just,
I'm talking about imagine if he did that.
It's more like it's more delivery and how he
Klatt's just a dumb talking head. He's he's harmless. He's dumb, but he's
yes.
I can say he's not like Cowherd or something where it's like,
Cowherd. Oh, Cowherd. No, it made me think, because Andrew, what if it is next year? What if Riley does jump ship when Caleb goes to the NFL to pick him up?
Please, Riley, go to the NFL right now. I will I will just I'll make a video where I pretend I'm going to speak. No, for real, I'm going to say something now and just start laughing and then intersplice it with things. No, really. I'm going to talk now. No, really, where are all my UFC titles? He abandoned you after a year.
And you would do it.
I might have to break out my camera kit and film myself running around Orlando, just running into places. Look at Raleigh, you see what I'm doing? Yeah! And just set it up, like, just go to like, because like the bits that there, I forgot who did this, but there was a bit where like an internet, a YouTuber did one time where he was reacting to something. Like there was something that like shocked him. He had like this like shocked look on his face, and he kept the shocked look on his face. And then he just got up and just left, got in a car, drove to an airport, was waiting in the airport, had the same face on the plane, got off the plane, going off into the distance somewhere, and then just going, what just happened? Like, the delayed reaction.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Stewie Griffin type of thing, where he, he just gets on the plane and slaps Will Ferrell in the face.
You're making me think of, I don't know who it was, and I don't know if he was just doing No, never mind. So, but yeah, no, you're right. It's just goodness. Sean, that's about it. That's all I got, though. I mean, we have national championship next week. There's not really a whole lot for OU at this point, outside of probably next week.
Well, guys are announcing whether they're coming back or not, so that's kind of happening.
Yeah, we'll kind of recap next week.
We got a punter from Central Michigan. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. He was like all MAC.
I mean, what's his face was I'm not gonna say his job was in danger, but
Turk is gone now. We got a punter we got an all MAC punter. Come on now, get happy.
Maction.
I mean, it's not a wide receiver, or defensive tackle, but
that's fair.
Or an offensive lineman.
I mean, we have spots to fill. I'm not going to complain. Like
and that's another thing. We're waiting to see the fallout from last night. Who's going to enter the portal from Michigan and Ohio State?
Correct. And I will be curious on that. I do expect maybe a player or two from Michigan. Who knows? And
there'll be portal entries from TCU and Georgia, regardless of who wins or loses. So,
right. Yeah, next week it's day before Natty. We see who else transferring, who else is staying. I think the next big major thing for OU is the actual true signing day for whoever's left at that point for transfer.
I mean, we're not expecting any. Right? We're not expecting. I don't expect any high school guys unless some guys pop up out of unless we see some guys unless they're just looking at tape and like. Honestly, the only guys I would think of high school wise, we're just taking bodies.
Yeah.
That's all I could see. We're just taking a body, and maybe we can build someone after a couple of years to be a depth chart guy.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was thinking. I was trying to think of
not even a stud, just a guy who could be on the 2 deep.
Yeah. Well, again, I was just trying to think anything else, but like major OU news, it's all about basketball and softball at this point.
Well, softball, we got a month or so until softball starts, so it's like go for the 3-peat. Woo!
I mean, they have a shot to do it. They have a shot.
I mean, of course, you remember the name of like the greatest player in OU softball history, right?
Of course.
And that person's name is. That person's name is the greatest OU softball player who just broke records who broke the all-time home run record last year. You know this person's name, right?
I do know this person's name.
Yeah, so
I will not forget it.
Why don't you tell the audience who's left who that person is?
Alo. I will not forget.
And her first name?
Jocelyn. I will not forget.
So it took you a while to say that name, but
no, because I had to rack my brain again, but I'm not going to forget it. Because I know it will always come up. I'll be like, all right, got to remember, got to go
Eric is
it.
pissed.
Yep.
Eric is mad at you. He's pissed at you about that kind of. He's kind of mad. I showed him that clip. I showed him a clip of you forgetting, me walking off, and he was like, he couldn't believe it. He was astounded.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a softball guy, so
I know. Anyway. I mean, he's more of a softball guy than a football guy, in my opinion.
I mean, Yeah, but he loves. I mean, don't get me wrong, football. He likes football too. But anyway,
he loves his softball though.
Well, yeah, he does a podcast year round about it, so I kind of have to. Just play-by-play for UCF.
Yeah.
It's very important. Does play-by-play for UCF. Very important.
I actually didn't know that. I knew he did softball and he wrote on softball.
Oh yeah, he's the play-by-play guy for UCF softball. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
I know peoples. See,
what?
I got connections in this town.
No, I know that. I was trying to think when.
Kind of.
When did y'all first meet?
Well, I got my radio gig in 16.
Was it at
1080, yeah, in Orlando.
No, I was trying to remember with it. Like, did you go to games or did were you on it?
No, like we would do I did it. We would do remotes at time. We had a weekly remote. We did it at a place called Lafayette's at Point Orlando on iDrive. But no, him doing games was a UCF thing specifically. Like the radio station was independent. It was a Fox NBC / base thing. So
gotcha.
I was trying to think. I'm like, I knew that. It was an NBC one. So
right, and he comes on your stream though a whole lot though.
Yeah, and the show that was afternoon show, like Tucker O'Neill, that was canceled because of that reasons. They replaced it with an awful Tampa afternoon show. Hearing that dude in Tampa, God, he sucks. Just hearing the promos for his show, it's like, oh my God, yeah, this is awful. This guy is terrible. Ugh. Welcome to the afternoon. It's like, oh my God, you're awful.
Click.
All this over not paying someone's, trying to cancel health insurance for somebody or whatever. It's like, oh, this shit.
Click. Not worth it. Not worth it.
Anyway.
Sean, that's all I got, though, for tonight. So let's wrap up. So, Sean, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. Same thing with Swiggy. He had to take a phone call, so he had to leave early. Everybody, thanks for joining. Again, Happy New Year. Comment, rate, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live and when I upload video. Be sure to visit Sean's channel. It's first of the year. I'll throw promotion at you, Sean. Be sure to visit Sean's Onikuno channel, guys. He always puts up great content over there. Live streams the games for like reaction, not like I'm gonna put the screen on. No, it's just like in the moment. So
and join us next week, guys. That shit is over, and I don't have to do that for like 8 months.
Yeah, I mean, I look at that. I'm just like,
I get an 8-month break from that misery.
You know what's funny, Sean, is I always have I've been asked before because I'm invested, but I'm not a super fan. But don't you want football to go all year? No. I have other hobbies. I love my OU football. I get burnout by January. I'm ready for other stuff.
My focus is on spring football, and then I'm going to work on other things that I like to do for fun.
I'm like anime.
Sure. Well, that's year-round too, but anyway.
Yeah. So everyone, thanks for joining us tonight.
Goodbye.
We'll see y'all next week. We'll probably preview a little bit of the championship game and kind of recap the season. So Boomer Sooner, only one. See everybody next week. Happy New Year.
Yay.